Hey everybody, today I'm looking at a Kaigelu 358. Not a brand I have had extensive experience with, Chinese brand. I've actually bought a few of their nibs because I saw on various videos online and stuff like that they do very good nibs at not a great deal of price. So I've bought a few nibs just to stick on various pens which have come with bad nibs, usually Moonmans, to be fair. So I thought I would venture into getting one of their pens and see how they make pens, because the nibs are actually very good. So here we have a 358 model, which comes in black or red, as far as I could find. So it's kind of the classic black and gold look. Got a bit of decoration on the cap band. So you got the Kaigelu rabbit there, and then a nice bit of swirling, like, rainbow sunset thingy or whatever, Clip arched up, and then has a little kind of bill there to slip on your pocket. It is pretty stiff but usable, but you do have quite a wide arch on there, so some people may not like that. Then you've got the clip ring there, and then you've got another Kaigelu rabbit along with the top of my head there on the finial. The top of my head doesn't come with the pen. Okay, that's extra. Get in touch if you want the top of my head along with that. And then you've got a blank gold finial on the back. This is a cartridge converter pen, so you've kind of got a faux blind cap there that doesn't move or do anything. You've just got the two gold rings on the back there. Is a snap cap. It is a very stiff snap cap, so that takes a reasonable amount of effort to push that in, and quite a reasonable amount of effort to prise that out. Obviously, the upside of that is it shouldn't go anywhere. It's not going to accidentally uncap itself. However, the downside is, if obviously you want a snap cap for convenience and ease, it's doable, but with one hand, but it's a bit of a pain, if I'm honest. It's a bit more effort than you want to be putting into that. Feels like a metal matte gold section with a couple of, you got your ring there, and then a little flare out there before you get to the nib. Stop your fingers rolling off there. Slight taper on the section, tapering down towards the nib. You have a Kaigelu number 6 size steel nib, again with the rabbit. Two-tone, which is quite nice. Medium nib in this case, plastic feed there. I mentioned it is a cartridge converter. Barrel unscrews to reveal a, is it Kaigelu branded there? Sorry. Yes, it is. Converter. Kind of the Chinese standard size converter, and you got the, I don't know, Lamy-esque turny knob there. Bit, as you can see, it's a little bit loose, a little bit of play in that. Don't know if that's standard or just this one, but yeah, it's a little bit of play in there. And yeah, friction fit converter, which I believe is the standard Chinese size. No O-ring on the barrel there, so you got metal threads going onto metal threads, which is fine. I don't think I've ever had that come loose on its own, but there is that danger, I suppose. There's danger, do you know what I mean? Live dangerously. Now, this is going to bring me to something. So, I've actually managed to, oh no, I didn't. Right, you see there, I thought I was actually back on the threads there. So, this converter, let me see if I can light this up a little bit. Sorry, bear with. Some light. There we go. Right, so if we're looking down the barrel, sorry, I don't know if I can focus on this, but down the back there, where kind of your faux blind cap meets there, it does, the gap widens, narrows. I can't focus down there at all, but you get what I mean. hopefully. This converter catches on that. So sometimes it's actually taken me quite a while, as it's, yeah, to actually slot that in to the gap there where the head of the converter is obviously slotting into the top bit here, and this gap narrows. Catches quite, there we go, catches quite heavily there before you get onto the threads, and to do that up. So that is annoying, and I don't know if you can hear it, but from time to time I do get a bit of rattle, which is probably off the loose piston knob of that converter. So there's that. I think that's a major bugbear whenever I've taken that off and put it back on. Bill, let's get you out of the way. To get that converter back into there to actually put the barrel on the pen, that has been a bit of a problem. Okie dokie, let's just talk price and nib grade options. So comes in extra fine, fine or medium, and looking at AliExpress today, it was on there at £18.49 including VAT. So obviously if you're a non-VAT place it will be a bit less, and that included shipping as well, I think. I picked it up for the £13.79 including VAT and delivery, obviously on offer or something at some point. I can't remember when, this was actually quite a while back. As I mentioned, come in black or red finish. So not stupidly expensive, however, not cheap. Yeah, like the birdies. I don't think it would be unreasonable if it was very nicely made, but there's a couple of issues which I've already mentioned. Does it post? Yes, it does, but not very well. It will post securely. That's not going to come off, but that makes it very, very, very long, and even a little bit back weighted because you've got that cap. It's perching, as I say, it's on there. It's not coming off, but it's literally sitting on that blind cap, so it's not coming down onto the actual barrel. So as such, does make it quite long and does put a bit of weight on the back there. Okie doke. Let's just have a quick comparison with some other pens. So I feel like I overload my tray of pen comparison from time to time, so I'm going to simplify it a little bit and see how we go. So next to a Lamy Safari, and then I'll start doing uncapped as well, shall I? See how we go. Got any feedback? Let me know. Right, so then there is pretty much lined up there. Then that's next to the Lamy Safari. And then for something a bit bigger, I will grab a Visconti Homo Sapiens. It's obviously a more oversized pen. So in comparison next to that. And then if I put the caps back on, do it that way around, shall we? And then it's about there. So as you can see, a bit thinner, bit shorter than your kind of oversized pen, but not far off your Lamy. Okie dokie, let's look at the measurements of the pen. So you have capped, uncapped and posted. As I mentioned, if you post it, that does make it extremely long. The barrel is 12.4 millimeters all the way along. Section is 11 up here, just tapering down to 10.2 down there. Weight is inked, so give it a little bit of grace, but you have capped and uncapped, and the cap on its own 16.4. So as I say, when you post that on the back, that does add a bit of weight onto it. Know what I mean? Right, let us see about a writing sample. So, what I will say is when you hold it in the hand, so regardless of all the other bits and bobs, so it's slow to uncap, it's a bit, it's quite comfortable in the hand. It's a nice size without being posted on its own. But I'll come back to that when I summarise. Let us just try and focus in on that a little bit. So, we have, here we come to this, there we go, a Kaigelu, that was an E, that was an A, 3, 5, 8 is a medium steel nib, and the ink is diamine. Majestic blue. So the nib is very, very smooth. As you can see, it does have some start-up troubles from time to time. Took a little while to get going there. And this was literally capped, obviously, apart from when I was waving it around. I used this about an hour ago before I did the video, so it's not like it's been sitting there for a week or anything like that. Just do it fast. So it keeps up well enough, and you don't really get the hard starts once you've got the flow going. So I don't think it's the feed that's the issue. It's more the cap seal. So again, let me unlock this and let's see if we can see down here a little bit. So you do have that cap seal in there, but then you've got, I don't know, like this screw head kind of down the bottom there. So I'm not sure it seals brilliantly, if I'm honest. I have had a few issues with startup there from time to time, excuse me. But when it's writing, it is very wet, and it's almost abroad actually. For nib grade, I do find the Kaigelu mediums, they do tend to be very smooth, very wet, and possibly a little bit broader than like your normal medium, which is absolutely fine if they start up. But as I say, they're not. It's not hard starting, and it's not skipping or anything like that. I think it's just the cap seals, a bit toilet. Just for line variation, so no pressure. Then with pressure, you can bulk that up to a pretty thick line. It's pretty stiff, but you can get a bit of give out of that. So my guess would be the nib's actually pretty good, and the feed does keep up with the demand there, but the cap seal's toilet. But yeah, so that kind of follows with the fact that I liked getting the Kaigelu nibs as replacements for bad nibs at a low price, but obviously the pen making it here isn't fantastic, if I'm honest. Oops, wrong one. So yeah, I mean, in summary, it's comfortable to hold. On its own without posting, but there are a number of issues. There's obviously there's the cap seal issue. There's the capping itself, which is, as I say, solid but over solid, because it does take quite a bit of effort to cap and uncap that. And you've got that barrel issue with the converter, so you know, anytime you want to refill that, or maybe because of the cap seal you need to prime the nib from the converter or something like that to get that back on, it's a pain in the ass, quite frankly. So yeah, it's not the best quality control going on here. Said that, it's okay. I suppose it's not great, is it? It's literally, once you get to this point and you're loaded up with ink and your nib is not dried out, then it's okay. But that's a lot of what ifs, isn't it? So yeah, it's not great. I wouldn't put a recommendation on this one. But I will say the replacement nibs I've got on their own have all been very, very good. So if you need replacement nibs, Kaigelu might be your budget place to go, but not necessarily for the whole pen, certainly not this model. All right. Have a lovely one, and I'll see you next time. Bye.